Welcome back to another tutorial. This time we're going to go over the Wobbler component. Similar to the spinner and wiggler, it does wobbling, and wobbling is in terms of scale, but it can also be used for position, so I'm going to show you both. Let's get started. So again, we're going to go create new object, 3D model box. We're going to inspect that with secondary, and open the inspector. I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to go to attach component, transform, drivers, Wobbler. Wobbler by default will bind itself to the scale of an object. So now the Wobbler has a similar setup to the wiggler in that it has a speed, a magnitude, and a seed, but you also see a base size, and that's because it's driving size. So here, if I say grow on the y-axis at a speed of, I should do magnitude first, just like I said in the previous one. So I'm going to say, hey, grow by 2 at a speed of 0.5. And now you'll see that it's wobbling between those scales. So you'll see it's increasing in size. There is a little bit of randomness in there. That's driven by the seed value again. You can change that if you want, but it is random. It's designed to just sort of make it look a little bit more natural. I could also say, hey, your base size is actually 2. And then you'll see that changes the range of motion that you can do. It does both positive and negative, so you'll see it's sometimes bigger than 2 on the Y, and sometimes it's smaller than 2 on the Y, so it does both sides of the axis. So if we go up to the scale here, you can see it working mathematically as well, so you can see it goes above 2, down to sort of 1, and then back up to 2. It's sort of, randomized like that. As before, you can do wobbling on multiple axes. I'm going to get that right one day, I promise. So we can say, hey, now wobble on 2 axi, and it creates quite an interesting effect. But as I said at the beginning of the video, you can also use the wobbler on the position. To do that, disable the wobbler. That will return the cube to a resting state. What I do is I go up to the top here and I make sure that we're at a normal scale here, so I hit reset scale. I go down to the bottom here and I clear this. Pull open another size of the box here, and instead of the scale being bound, I can actually bind the position. But before I bind the position, what I'm going to do is set the base size property of the wobbler here to the position the cube is currently at. So we want -6, 1.5 on the Y, and then -106 on the Z, as that's where the cube currently exists. Now with that set up, I can grab the position property of the box and drop it into the target of the wobbler, close that box when we're done, and now I can re-enable the wobbler, and you'll see it's now wobbling in terms of position. Almost looks like a floating ghost. In fact, if you made a floating ghost model and brought that in, it would look quite good. That's the wobbler for you. If you combine the wobbler, wiggler, and spinner together, you can get quite a sort of organic set of motions going on that resemble all sorts of things. I've done rockets, I've done boats, I've done jello on a plate, liquids, all sorts of things. That's all there is to the wobbler. I will see you next time.